Hear now a reading from the Gospel according to Mark, the 13th chapter. But in those days, after that suffering, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will be falling from heaven, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. Then he will send out the angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. From the fig tree learn its lesson. Soon as its branches become tender and put forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. See also, when you see these things taking place, you know that he is near, at the very gates. Truly I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But about that day or hour, no one knows, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only God. Beware, keep alert, for you do not know when the time will come. It is like a man going on a journey when he leaves home and puts his slaves in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to be on the watch. Therefore keep awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening or at midnight or at cockcrow or at dawn, or else he might find you asleep when he comes suddenly. And what I say to you, I say to all, keep awake. Just about the time most people are switching on their Christmas lights to celebrate the holiday, this gospel reading from the first Sunday of Advent brings us straight to a text that points forward to a great coming day when all the lights will go out. Try turning this into a fireside Christmas story and see if the children's eyes glisten with wonder. It's the kind of thing you might expect to hear a parody on The Onion or Saturday Night Live. Some Scrooge type terrifies the children with tales of apocalyptic darkness as the sun goes out in supernova and the moon winks out as a result. It could give a whole new meaning to the phrase, "be good for goodness sake." It is not a happy text, but it is the text for the first Sunday of Advent. Today, as we light a candle for hope, as we decorate our church, as we think about all the things we need to get done before Christmas, and some of us have many panic attacks, as we look forward to the cherished family traditions, time with loved ones, this mini apocalypse from Mark's gospel comes as a smack in the face to all of us looking for good tidings of comfort and joy. In the spirit of this text, I should likely be preaching a sermon about interpreting the signs of our times to point to Jesus' imminent return, or about getting ready, not for Christmas, but for the second coming, or about keeping awake and looking busy, because Jesus is just about to get here and you don't want to be sleeping on the job. Perhaps that's what I should be preaching this morning, but that's not what I'm going to preach. Believe it or not, this text is ominous, foreboding, and quite frankly, unsettling. But I hear good news in this text that has the potential to completely reshape our approach to the holiday season. But first, let's take a trip down memory lane. How many of you played hide and go seek as a kid? Almost everybody. I loved that game. We used to play it in my house. It was a big old house with lots of great hiding places. And when you turned off the lights and added Nerf guns, it was endless fun. As you know, somebody has to be it. They'd close their eyes and start counting. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. And by the time they got to 10, they'd yell, "Ready or not, here I come." If you still hadn't found a hiding spot, you scrambled to conceal yourself as best you could, and then the search began. I know it's going to sound like a really weird analogy, but I think Advent, especially when viewed from the light of this text in Mark's gospel, is a lot like a game of hide and seek. The count begins, 1 Mississippi, and we start racing to get the lights on the house, a tree in the living room, and cards in the mail. The count continues, 2 Mississippi. We dart from store to store or scour the internet for gifts and attend Christmas concerts and programs. 3 Mississippi. We hurriedly bake dozens of Christmas cookies, wrap presents, and create menus for the Christmas dinner and holiday parties. By the time the count gets to 10, we're frazzled, exhausted, sleep-deprived, and certain that we're forgetting something. Folks, that's no way to celebrate. I hear in Jesus' words from Mark's gospel not a warning, but a relief. Ready or not, here I come. He's coming anyway. Christmas is coming anyway. Hope, peace, joy, and love, they're coming anyway. Precious moments filled with loved ones, a child's laughter, newly minted memories, they are coming anyway, ready or not. I'm reminded of another of Dr. Seuss's beloved stories, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. After raiding the Who's village on Christmas Eve, taking the food and decorations and gifts, the Grinch is shocked by what happens on Christmas morn as he watches from a distance. Seuss writes, "He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook when he saw such a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch with his Grinch feet, ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. Somehow or other, it came just the same. Jesus comes. Christmas comes, whether we're ready or not, because it's not ultimately about our preparedness to receive the gift that prompts it to be given. It will be given anyway. And so I guess these apocalyptic words from Mark's gospel are glad tidings of comfort and joy after all. This Advent, know that Christ is coming, that Christmas is coming. And it's not contingent upon whether or not you check off all the things on your holiday to-do list. He's coming, it's coming, whether you're ready or not. And that's great news. Amen.